This is the reaction time for group A and group B. Now, what is reaction time? Now, this is an image that I have Googled. Now, how do you find the reaction time? This is a person dropping a ruler. Okay, so this can be a 30-centimeter ruler. So this person drops the ruler, and that's when you start the stopwatch. And then when this person catches the ruler, that's when you stop the ruler, stop the stopwatch, and then you record the time. So a group of people of group A and group B each had a sample of 30. So you took a sample. It can be boys and girls of a year level. Say these are boys and these are girls, or whichever way, and each had a sample of 30. And then the reaction time was recorded, and this is the statistics. So for group A, the lower quartile is 0.1, median is 0.49, and upper quartile is 0.65. For group B, it's 0.5, 0.65, and 0.9. Now, with this statistics, so by looking at these two boxes, we want to make a call that back in the population, whether group A or group B has got a greater reaction time or less reaction time. Now, when you're looking at boxes, because boxes is what helps you to make the decision. First, let us look at the two medians. Okay, so the median for box A is 0.49, for group A is 0.49, and for group B is 0.65. So the first thing that we can see is there is a difference between the median. So let us write the difference between the medians. Difference between median. And I'm going to call that as median shift. Okay, that is median shift, or the difference in median is called, I'll call that as median shift. So that is 0.65 take away or minus 0.49. 0.49. Okay, so let me write 0.49 properly. 0.49. So that is 0.16 seconds. Okay. So now the big question is whether this difference is big enough to make the call or make the statement that group B has a larger or greater reaction time. So now the question is if or is or does group B have greater reaction time than group A? This is the big question that we need to answer. Now the problem is we want to make the call back in the population based on this sample of 30. Okay, now for that you can't just look at this statistics and say, well, group B has a greater reaction time than group B. You have to do some more calculations before you jump to the conclusion. Okay, now to answer this question, we need to look at overall visible spread. The second thing that we need to calculate is the overall visible spread. Now, overall visible spread is the difference between the upper quartile. Visible spread is the difference between the higher upper quartile and the lower quartile. Okay, now what does that mean? So let me draw a dotted line here. So this is the higher upper quartile. Okay, so the group B has got a higher upper quartile than this upper quartile, and this is the lower quartile. So let me draw a dotted line. This distance between, or the difference between these two, is called the overall visible spread. Okay, so I'll name that as overall, OVS in short, OVS. This is the overall visible spread, the difference between the lower quartile and the upper quartile. Okay, so that is 0.9 minus 0.1. So that is easy. 0.9 take away 0.1. So the overall visible spread is 0.8 seconds. Okay, now we are asking the question, This median shift is how much percent of overall visible spread. So third question that we need to answer the third question we need to ask, how much percent is the median shift of the overall visible spread. I'll explain the maths behind it. So let us do the calculation. So we're asking the question, this is how much percent of this? Well, that is to find the percent, it is 0.16 divided by 0.8. Okay, so let's use the calculator to get the exact answer. That is 0.16 divided by 0.8. Sorry, it is 0.16 divided by 0.8, which is 0.2. So this as a decimal is 0.2, and 0.2 as a percent is 20%. So we can say that the median shift, this implies median shift is 20% of overall visible spread. Now what does that mean? That means for this box A for the median of box A, the median of box A is 0.49 and the median of box B is 0.16. So our question is this big difference? Is this difference big enough to make the claim back in the population that group B has a greater reaction time than group A? That was our question. Now, if this difference, the difference between the median, is only 20% of the overall visible spread, means that if for this median to coincide with this median, this box A has to move 20%. That's roughly what it means. Okay. So here we can say median shift is 20% of overall visible spread. Now, this is the rule that we need to remember. The rule is, this is the rule of a thumb. So the rule to make a claim, back in the population. This is very important. Back in the population. Now, what does that mean? Back in the population means from the sample, we are going to talk about the population. We want to make the call, we want to make the statement that group B, by looking at this, it seems that group B has a greater reaction time than group A. But to make the call back in the population that group B has greater reaction time than group A, then group A, the median shift, this is a rule. Okay, now before that, again, for group A with a sample of 30, that's also important, with a sample of 30, with a sample size of 30, sample size of 30. This is very important. The median shift, I'll write in short, MS, the median shift should be over 1/3 of overall visible spread. This is the rule of overall visible spread, or in terms of percentage, or median shift should be more than how much percent? 1/3 as a percent should be how much? Should be more than 33 1/3% of the overall visible spread. Okay, now what is the result that we have got? The median shift that we have got is only 20% of the overall visible spread. But the rule tells me that if you want to make a call with a sample size of 30, the overall visible spread should be greater than, should be greater than, over means should be greater than 1/3 of the overall visible spread, or more than 33 and 1/3% of overall visible spread. Now you may say, well, the lower quartile and the upper quartile are almost the same. Okay, so here we can make the claim. We cannot. So what does this imply? This implies we cannot make the claim. We cannot make the claim. That group B has greater reaction time. I'll write RT, reaction time, than group A. Though this is one thing that you may wonder, though what are we saying? The lower quartile of group B is almost the same as a median of group A, though the lower quartile of group B is almost the same as group A. Now what does that mean in terms of percentage? Same as group A. So I'll only make that statement. I hope you understand. That means more than 75%. So this, if you take to the right of, if you consider the data to the right of lower quartile, this is 75%. This is 75% of the data, and this is 50% of the. This is 50% of the data. To the left of median, you've got 50%. Though we can say, though more than 75% of group B has greater reaction time than 50% reaction time of group A.